Well, so I just swapped places there. So hello back for round number 3. We have another, I think, interesting matchup for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would say we just jump right into the players here. So we have Bryan, Vries on the left side playing against Logan, Madden. So if you look at Bryan's accomplishments, it's very strong. I don't know if you actually watched the stream for Sao Paulo. That was recently. It's also the same format.
Exactly.
He got
He's
second.
been on stream like how many times? I think it was a stream like always.
Oh,
it's been like for 3 rounds or something. And interestingly, he's playing. We'll actually have a mirror match here. It's I think Mewtwo against Mewtwo. Am I right?
It does look like it.
In fact, you have Mewtwo against Mewtwo. Interesting matchup. What do you think about Mewtwo? I feel like it's probably the BDF. Is it that too hazardous to say?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as calling it the best deck in format, but just a combination of having Welder and Mewtwo, access to so many Pokemon you can attack with.
Exactly.
That's
so
definitely
versatile.
really nice.
Well, instead, on the other side, we have Logan Madden. He recently won a regional. He arrived second at the regional with Picrom, I think.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting because it was the final against Gardevoir Sylveon. And it was so close. I remember watching that. He's actually a really good player. He was a really good senior as well. And look at that. Also, the recent results, he went also top 16 in Paris, top 64 in Harrogate. It seems like he's a really solid player overall.
Yeah, I think he also has a lot of championship points from League Cups.
Exactly. Especially, I think he comes from the UK, and in his zone there's a lot of competitive. It's one of the hardest players actually to get the points. And I think generally with the London effect, so right now that we will have the first Worlds in Europe, a lot of people have picked up the game.
Yeah.
And also the level of play is starting to increase. So let's look at the prizes already. I think Logan has 2 switches. I think that's the only copies. That's the only 2 copies he runs. And I'm looking at the lists quite carefully. I feel like it's just some cards off each other. Interesting techs, nothing particular. They all both played the Megalopony and Jigglypuff, which I think will be very relevant in this match. Also the Charizard GX. And none of them have actually any attackers in the prizes. So I think it will be an even match from 2 great players.
These are normal looking prize cards, like
exactly.
2 of the Charge Balls, which is fine.
And I think we're just ready to start.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Table are setting up.
They're set up. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
So I would just say, yeah, we are going to tell them that they can start.
Exactly.
But
yeah, also the announcement right here now, and actually Bryan has the water in the prizes. That's interesting because obviously in the mirror sometimes you want to have the Greninja attack because obviously Tag Purge shuts off that ability, and both of them play 2 Weakness Guard energy as well, very relevant in the mirror. So we'll see how it goes. It really, like when it's a mirror, it usually depends on how they set up. The prizes here will not be too relevant, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see like how these Mewtwo and Mew tag teams kind of evolved after Cologne. Cologne was won by Todd Reckler, who played a really, really weird Mewtwo deck with Shedinia, and he also played Weakness Guard and Red.
Which kind of became the standard, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, before, a lot of people use the Jirachi GX, which is a pretty good card, but it has a lot of problems, so it turns off weakness for both players, and then the player who has it in play is kind of on a disadvantage.
Also, Power Plant shuts it off, while for the Weakness Guard energy, the only current way to do it is Faba, or if you're playing a dark deck, the Dangerous Drill.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's very common. But yeah, and Faba just means, you just use your supporter, that's it, you're stuck here with me. And at the same time, I feel like Weakness Guard energy is also an energy attachment, so it might be the only negative side about it. But Logan right here, right away, Guzman Hala, really great card for this deck. Looks for a Stadium, an energy, and a Pokemon tool. So also enables this deck to play Jirachi, which before you saw the Mewtwo version, they did not play Jirachi. They just went straight Mewtwo. And right now that gives him more consistency.
Yeah, Guzman Hala is such a great card in this deck. If you play Jirachi, you can get Escape Board, you can get the Weak Guard energy or the Rainbow energy, depending on what makes most sense in the current situation. And as Logan sees, my opponent opens Mewtwo and Mew. It's Bryan, so probably this is going to be a mirror match. So he knows, okay, I just need the Weak Guard energy, and then if I get that down, then I'm already at a a pretty good position, especially going first.
Indeed.
And Logan going for a little aggressive play here, just
Double
using
Jirachi, very
all
nice.
of the stellar wishes, which forces him to have more
Takes
switching
nothing.
outs. We know that there are 2 switch cards priced. A lot of players check some of their prize cards, but usually switch is not one of the first few cards you check, so maybe that will bite him back. However, he still has escape boards left, so
and
you can just draw
Logan
more.
can just give the Jirachis cannon fodder. He doesn't really care if he gets knocked out. While in the meantime, he can set up the Mewtwo in the bench, especially since he didn't have Welder turn 1. And possibly just have this Mewtwo. And Mewtwo is such a great attacker because he can single-handedly win you the game. I have one Mewtwo and he can use a million's attack. Whatever you're going to do, I can heal him, I can spread damage, I can one-shot your tag teams. It's just a great card overall.
Yeah, it's really great that you have so many, like just Welder and Mutant Mew in the same format, and then on top of that, you get a lot of versatile cards. Like here we can see the tag call.
Yeah.
You can just get one of your attackers with that, and then maybe a supporter card. And a lot of the tag team supporters also discard stuff.
Yep, exactly.
So you can just go full all in. Like not as much all in as it used to be, with where you just like went and then you try to get your Welder on the first turn.
So yeah, actually Bryan here is going for it. I do like this play because Logan went a bit slower, and if Bryan is able to put on the gas since turn 1, that's going to be quite relevant for him.
All right, so he does have a bunch of attackers in his hand that he wants to get rid of, but we see no turn 1 Welder, just a conservative approach. Turn 1 Guzmahala.
I don't know what he discarded. What's the last Bochum? Well, we'll see now.
I think it's Charizard breaks in.
Oh yeah, Charizard breaks in, possibly. So he's taking the Stealthy Hood. Probably does not need the escape board. I think he has one in his hand. And once again, this deck is just setting up the first turn, and that's all you want to do. It's really hard for the deck to break. I feel like Mewtwo is either one of those decks that goes absolute gas, or sometimes it just... It's still a competitive deck, even if it does not work properly.
Yeah, but, well...
We'll see the skateboard, attached to the Stealthy Hood, just thinning out his deck, and Weakness Guard Energy, once again, very relevant.
Yeah, and perfectly played down his whole hand. Every card there was used. Well, he already played the supporter, so...
Oh yeah, he did play Guzman.
It's not so important this turn, but of course, you still need it for your next turn if you want to start rolling.
The Giant Harp might give Logan enough space to possibly Charizard GX next turn. I think Bryan needs to do something about that, because I think Logan has the Welder in his hand. I'm not too sure. So if he finds the Charizard, that might just knock him out. He also needs a way to retreat for the moment. Yeah.
So let's see what the next turn is bringing. But Bryan's turn, very explosive. Got a bunch of cards down.
Yeah, he does have a Marshall in hand, which I would like to see to discard the stadium. Let's see what Bryan is thinking right now. He's considering it.
I mean, otherwise...
And he just passes.
Is there anything else he would need the Marshadow for? I think?
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe does Logan play Chaotix well? I remember at the beginning people would... Yeah, he does play one Chaotix well, Logan.
All right, but is there like...
I don't think he saw it, so he's just holding it there. Well, Logan had Giant Harp, so the problem does not pose itself, I guess. Looking for 2 energies. Let's see. Looking for his deck. Does he have the Charizard there? Oh, maybe he already discarded it. Let's see. No, it's still there. So takes out the 2 energies, and now with Welder, we'll be able to accelerate all those energies on the active. And if it does find the attacker, then
just need to retreat and also need to get something in the discard pile to attack with. But everything else is already set.
What do you think about the Mewtwo deck? Do not play anymore the Macargo. I thought the card was really good.
Well, Macargo was funny because you could just mill your opponent like at random.
Exactly.
And then also you could deal
like
I
250.
Think yeah, you just need a little bit less energy to take a knockout here.
I feel like the only argument for that is that right now you play more special energies, while before it was just a Viridian sort of base, and Guzmahala was not there.
Yeah.
So you cannot really use that effect. But I did like the fact that Macargo can just dish out. Like he can just win in 2 turns. The turn 1, you Charizard GX, and the second turn, you're just gonna use Macargo attack. Which I do like. So we see him, Logan, thinning out his deck again. Tackle, discarding Expendioxys and the Megalopony. Megalopony also very interesting addition to this deck with Cosmic Eclipse.
Yeah, deals more damage if your opponent has a lot of Pokemon GX in play, and
Indeed.
especially with Dedenne and tag teams, that's
There it is
sometimes if your opponent doesn't. Oh, but here we get the Charizard,
boy.
and Bryan is just like, oh,
Does
well,
he weigh away to retreat?
I guess you got it, but Jirachi is still active, and
does he have a way to retreat? Because if he doesn't, that was off the bike, right? So he still
I think it was,
has access to everything else. And also he has the Cherish Ball if he wants to find a Dedenne, possibly accelerating. It's a bit of a gamble, but let's see what his deck is. He plays, let's see, 2 escape boards, so there's just one more way to retreat.
Yeah, so
that's a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, maybe the retreat turn 1 actually came back to bite him, but
yes.
Yeah, as we said, usually you just want to try and max out your chances of rolling properly, and like getting all this combo. Like the Giant Half wasn't in play, right? So he didn't know that he would get energy and welder and everything. So it's like it would have been crazy if he got everything, but it's fine to not get it. Like he didn't turn 1, he didn't expect to have a Mewtwo with 4 energy. Well, like I mean, if he can retreat, why not? But
Reset Stamp, he just he's thinking about he's just going for it. I think I like this.
Okay,
it's somewhat of a risk, but you also discard. Look at those cards. You don't
did he Stellar Bush yet?
I'm not sure. He might have had. There's nothing there.
Nothing.
Just a lot of energies. Let's see if it did Stellar Wish. One more Dedenne, but you can't use more. It's a nerf. Because you remember the Shame in EX days.
Oh no,
yeah. Like Skyrim.
Dedenne is much more balanced.
Yes, yes indeed. Logan is laughing. He's saying, well, maybe I did fine, maybe I didn't. And he's thinking about it.
Well, so I guess he passes, right?
Yeah.
What else is there to do?
You got the Cherish Ball. Yeah, he's just showing off some card to Bryan. There's a Stellar Wish.
Okay, yeah, so he did not. Yeah, that was a bit.
Let's see. Oh, nothing there. There's a Chaotic Swell, though. And there we go, down the Marshadow. I mean, he got Reset Stamped. But if the Marshadow was on the bench, that might have been useful. And
also, but if Bryan actually would have used the Marshadow, then Logan would have been would not have been able to
I'm not
use.
sure why he didn't bench him. I'm sure he had reasons, so I'll see about that. He does draw supporter. Look at that hand. Wow. That's Reset Stamp to you. Or just general hand disruption. Sometimes you have this really good hand, and then they end you, or they Reset Stamp you, and you're like, well.
Yeah, Reset Stamp for 6 cards is really weird, because 6 cards is a really good effect. Like, people play Cynthia in their own decks, and then when your opponent is just like, here's a Cynthia for free, and
he did have some cards
fine, but sometimes you actually get a worse hand off that.
Yep, exactly.
Alright, so we see Tech Hole for Cynthia, and then the other Cynthia.
Yes.
And Mewtwo and Mew tag team. So Tech Call, just really nice, gets you supporter and your Pokemon, so you can start rolling right from there. And we also see another turn without Welder, but it discarded Solgaleo. So Bryan just needs to bench another Mewtwo and Mew, and then can attack with Solgaleo, put more energies on there. And then he is already set up for the next turn, so if Logan actually goes aggressive and takes a knockout on the active...
He might respond.
Yeah, like if he uses a GX attack, take the knockout on the active... Or actually I think Logan... No, Logan does not play Makarga, right?
Yeah, no, I think none of them play Makarga.
Bryan does.
Oh, Bryan does?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Good job, Bryan.
Yeah, so, but if Logan just takes a knockout here, then Bryan just needs the Welder, then can take a knockout again.
Indeed.
And then Logan doesn't have any energy anymore, so...
Yeah. Logan is still far ahead, and he has a Welder with 2 energies and a Mewtwo.
Oh,
so he's doing it. He's living the dream. And also, if he takes the knockout, that means free retreat now for Logan.
Wait, how did the Giant Hearth come game?
He did use the Marshadow.
He drew it again.
Yeah, he drew it again.
Fair enough. Okay,
that's called skill. And Bryan also has a lot of Welder in his hand. Let's see what Logan can pull off here. I think
unfortunately, only 1 Fire Energy in the discard pile for Bryan, but that's still enough. He takes a prize card now, and now Logan needs to respond in some way.
Yeah. And how the game should evolve for now is that the Mewtwo is going to knock out that Mewtwo, and then the other Mewtwo should basically fight it off. It really depends on the Weakness Guard energy, I would say. Because right now, it's because they have the Weakness Guard, they just take normal damage. But the next Pokemon, if he did not have the weakness guard, and Logan has one weakness guard in the prizes, if he does not draw it, and yeah, that might be difficult for him.
Yeah. Also, Bryan, he also plays 2 weak guard energy.
Yeah.
He
So
already has 1 in play.
Exactly.
And then he really needs a second one next turn,
Yeah.
but he also needs a welder.
It's sort of it's a debate, because Logan, if he's gonna draw 3 prizes from the bottom, he's gonna draw the weakness guard, so that he has it granted. While Bryan has to dig for it. He does have Goods Mahal and access to a lot of draw power, but at the same time, it's not granted. So yeah, this matchup is turning out to be quite exciting in terms of how the things should evolve, and that's probably the beauty about the Mewtwo mirror. It just, or any mirror generally, it really shows off the skill and the ability of players to discern what will happen next. And yeah, Logan is just going for it. He does have the eject. Oh, interestingly, he did not set anything else.
Yeah, I was just saying. So no next Mewtwo for the next turn. He does have mutant. Maybe he just wants to. Well, I would say this is trying to make the opponent think that you don't have anything, so they just go all in. And then you're like, well, actually, I have weak guard and welder.
There is a weakness in the tires
but Bryan got his own weak guard. That's really lucky.
Logan does not seem worried about that. He's just like gazing on the battlefield and he's like, well, whatever. I think I have something for it. He could just, you know, Latios GX always helps. It just buys you some turns in case you fall behind. And obviously the GX is used now, so there's no one-shot possibility except for the Macargo.
Yeah, which only Bryan plays and Logan does not, so...
But then again, if you do not have a way to remove that tag purge, for example, double catching, which is really hard because that would mean you have 6 cards in your hand, you're going to discard. So let's see. Bryan, interesting.
I think Bryan is just like, if he gets the reset stamp now, he basically seals up the game.
Yeah, he still
but
has
if he doesn't get it, then well, he got some Pokemon in the discard pile. Yeah, and here it is. So that's
gonna be
that
challenging.
might be the game, because now Bryan can use his own GX attack, take the knockout with the Charizard, and then Logan has nothing on board and only 3 hand cards.
Exactly, and Bryan as well has 5 prizes. Now he's gonna draw 3. That means that the Dene is a win condition now.
Yeah.
So Logan needs to do some magic right here, and needs to pull it off.
So let's see, do we have a magician on the table or not?
Draws 3. Here's a weakness guard, which could come in handy. But he needs to draw more than that. He needs to still draw for turn, I think. I think it's just 3 cards. Bless RNG, chat. Bless RNG.
So let's see.
The weakness guard also, like, you know, it's an energy attachment, as I said before, but at the same time, it's really helpful. So he draws a great catcher, which I don't think is truly relevant right now. Let's see where this goes. The hand does not look good.
Yeah, that's so he has a great catcher and energy. There's
and I'm pretty
nothing
sure
really he can use. So it's just let's go Stellar Wish. He sees a welder, but with no Mewtwo on the bench.
No, please.
Yeah.
Deja vu. That's like the abilities are cursed. Like you start with a welder and you have just a Jirachi. You're like welder to Jirachi. Yay.
Yeah, and there's no Heatran GX in the decks anymore. So Heatran was really nice. I really like that card because it just allowed you to make a early welder, which doesn't really have a target better. But now you have Tech Call, so like having Welder as your only supporter doesn't happen as often anymore, so you can just use Tech Call and then...
Yeah, Heatran was a really good card. I can understand why some people cut it off, because starting with it is just a pain.
Yeah.
But...
And also, once you use your GX attack, it's just like... It's there, but like...
It's nice against
doesn't really help you that...
It hits the right number. It's 130.
Yeah, okay.
190 HP.
That's true.
That's decent. It's just probably not the best thing.
And yeah, but this time it's really nice to just retreat into Jirachi. Like if he gets a Tech Call, he has a supporter card, and yeah, here we see it. So Mewtwo, attach an energy, get a supporter card. But
I think he used all of his Symphonic Catalans. Yeah, it just needs...
Oh boy.
I don't know if he plays Symphonic Catalan. I don't remember to see it. No, he does not play Symphonic Catalan.
Okay, so, well, too bad.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Bryan, he just needs any Gust effect.
And that's over.
Or does he maybe play Naga Naga? Yeah, he even plays Naga Naga GX. Yeah. So just Psychic or Rainbow.
Welder, 2 energies.
Bryan has so many outs of winning this game.
Logan.
And
Reset
stamp, so
there
very
it
nice,
is.
yeah.
But does he have a way to retreat?
Well, that I don't think that matters too much. He already retreated, and he has all the switching.
That means Bryan has 2 turns to work with. There's 2 cards. There's a switch and a Dedenne. Wow. And Bryan interestingly plays 3, I think, Dedennes.
Yes.
Yes, he does play 3 Dedennes while Logan plays only 2. The reason why people cut the Dedenne is also because of Megalopani in the mirror.
Yeah.
And generally you don't want to start with the Dedenne. That's like a feel bad moment.
But it's nice to have as your very last one, like Bryan now. He has the option.
Great catcher there, but he has the
great
switch.
Catcher.
No.
Yeah, too bad. But Logan does everything he
hands.
can. You don't know your opponent's hand, so you just try to maximize everything that you can. So
no, well, he does have the weakness guard at least, so he needs if he wants to take a knockout.
yeah.
What did he draw? He drew Viridian.
Yeah, that's he can even play that. Like he drew the perfect hand.
Wow.
Oh wait, he discards it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he just needs a psychic energy
exactly.
to win. So.
Psychic
And the switch.
and the switch.
Yeah. So that's game 1.
Goodness gracious.
Bryan takes a very easy game here.
Yeah,
And
the 2
Logan
switches.
shows us like,
shows it.
I don't have any switches. But I mean, yeah, like it depends. I think, yeah, Bryan played it super well. Like,
yeah, he did.
pretty much everything he did was calculated and
indeed, like you see like these big brain players, they just know, like they seem so calm as well. Like if I were, I never got on stream, but if I were, I would be like shaking. I would be actually scared because the whole world is watching me. I mean the whole world, like maybe that's an exaggeration, but in any case, like these players have just the mindset. It feels like that once you do this many tournaments, you can do anything like in these tournaments, and you can just keep going over and over.
I would have said usually on stream, like not the eyes of the world are on you, but everyone in Hey Fonte is watching you.
Yes.
But now,
Rip Hey Fonte.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are actually happy with that, and no one really cares. But
to be fair.
Yeah. All right. So game number 2, Bryan played this really well. So you could see how important the weak guard energy became, because it always prevented the player from like getting too aggressive. And I think all of them always got the weak guard energy. I think there was never a Mewtwo like in play that was just sitting there.
Yes,
that might have also been the reason why Logan in that one crucial turn where he got reset stamped did not actually use. He did not bench the Mewtwo.
The other Mewtwo. That was.
So let's.
I don't know what it was. His train of thought.
Take a look.
There.
Yeah, they forgot to put the prize cards on the thing, so we would just go into the.
Them, please.
We will just go into the game. It's not too.
We'll now go to someone, and then we'll go back to see the prize cards in a moment.
They're
doing it themselves.
It's not too big of a deal, actually.
Thank you very much. Now you will see like 4 Mewtwo's in the prizes. No, actually, nothing too crazy for players.
This looks very normal.
Yeah. The Megalopanis and 2 switches again.
Oh boy, yeah, I was just
Logan.
Yeah.
Play your switches. Play more. Acrobike. Oh wow, he has welder, but I think
bunch of welders.
This card's a welder. You understand? There's something wrong with some of these cards. A welder.
But he got this. This is turn 1 from last game.
Yeah. Oh, there's the energies.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is also another problem with the Mewtwo decks that play so many colors. Like both of them. I mean, now with Rainbow Energy got so much better with the tag team supporters.
Indeed.
Because you can just use Manhala and just get it. Like, before that was always a bit weird. You couldn't really get your energy cost, but now you're just like, I take my hand, and I take the deck into the hand, and then I just take it out, and there it is.
It's
but
so good.
yeah, now the welders don't work as well anymore.
My God, Logan, yeah, that's electric boogaloo indeed.
And Bryan got the weak guard energy, so even if Logan just hand attacked, manually attacked, and then attack with Solgaleo GX.
Bryan likes this. Bryan
is just like, no, whatever, I just take your knockout, and then you're...
And there's the Megalopani. It's interesting. Do you ever see an application for the Megalopani GX? It does 4, I think it's 4 energies. You put the defending Pokemon asleep and 200 in the bench. It's like a Naganadel, but...
The GX attack is really weird. I don't remember what it actually does. So it's
Pathy Smashers.
Yeah, you need 5 energy.
I feel like it's already.
And then it's 200.
Yeah,
which
is
so
bad.
Yeah, but the first attack is so strong that you really have to play it. It's 63 extra damage for each Pokemon GX for your opponent has in play. So if they have 4, like if there's 3 in play, you already deal to 40.
240, that's insane.
That's enough for a lot of tag teams, and then
it feels like it's a GX attack. It should be the opposite.
Yeah.
But in any case, like the jumping balloon attack also helps a lot Mewtwo against decks that he struggled before. Pikarom, for example, disappeared a lot. Pikarom was arguably a good matchup.
Oh, did he already play
wow.
supporter?
I don't think he did. I think he just...
Wait,
no,
yeah,
no,
he has Solgaleo, so he can just chip some damage off.
Wow.
That's really nice.
And but that's going to deal 240. That's not chipping. That's murder.
Yeah.
That's 240 damage.
Well, I think Mewtwo has...
If he has maybe another... No, you already attached. Is there anything that does... No. Because he could use... no, I think that's the only one.
Yeah, there's no energy in the discard pile, so...
Yeah, so Turbo Strike for 240.
And this should be illegal. Like, there's 200... like, it's so easy, just 2 energy.
Max potion me now.
So much damage.
It draws energy now.
And even if, like, Logan could go aggressive and then take the knockout here, he just...
also, Bryan was very smart here, because he didn't play the Giant Heart. He saw that Logan discarded a welder. What does it mean when someone discards a welder?
Yeah, Bryan is pretty sure that Logan either has no fire energy or no welder in hand. Yeah. And yeah, here Logan has to go for it just for 3. Nothing really.
Yikes, guys.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything great in his hand. The great catcher's name is a little bit misleading, I would say. Yeah. Because it doesn't help him at all. He could go for Dedenne. So, yeah.
You could solve the Dedenne, but are you really going to solve a deck that plays
also
like
you
12 energies? 14 energies? Come on, man. Yeah, he's just saying whatever.
Yeah, I think he just needs to dump his hand, hope he gets Solgaleo to get energy in play, and then
I think that's the play as well.
Go for a little bit more conservative approach, but oh boy.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Logan. Let's see if he can pull off anything. Rainbow, but the full effect does not come from the Miraculous Duo. And he already played Welder, right? Or did he?
He did play Welder.
Because he had 1 more energy. He could have used the Miraculous Duo to fully heal himself.
Yeah.
But I don't think... I can just use Prominence GX, which is the Solgaleo's GX, which heals, which is a feel-bad moment.
But you would... Why would you do this? Your opponent still hits for weakness because there's no weak guard energy, and neither of them play
doesn't do anything.
Jirachi GX. So
I think he needs to, as you said, dumps his hand, but that means 2 Great Catcher gone, and he plays free. So that will just leave him with 1 Great Catcher. Yeah. Yikes.
Really unfortunate hand here. But this is the reason why Mewtwo... Like, I wouldn't say Mewtwo is... I don't know, it's like saying it's the best deck in format is so weird. Because it's so strong, you have so many options.
But it has so many weaknesses, and people attack against it. Like, people play the... what is it called? The Mimikyu. The Mimikyu is just to shut off. Obviously, you do play the Stealthy Hood, but what if they just recycle? Or what if they Faba you?
Yeah. Or Lysander Lab like Benji.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no.
It's insane. Like, I thought he was giving his hand. Like,
I actually thought the exact same thing. Like, this hand is not useful. Like, let's just call it a day.
But in any case, that is not a useful hand. By any case, he's and again, Bryan did all that damage without using his jacks.
Yeah.
And Logan now has 3 welders in the discard.
And Bryan also, he can just attack with Turbo Strike again.
Yeah.
And this just puts him in such a dominant position because he gets rid of Logan's Mewtwo and Mew.
Ooh, Latios. That's smart. That could save him.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, he can search for it and then use...
but if he has Espion and the Oxys, you can just do the normal GX. And you can put the damage counters.
Like, it only has 1 damage left, so
yeah, exactly.
It should be possible, but it seems to be the only option here, right?
Yep.
This is really difficult when you're casting for Mewtwo and Mew, and nowadays a lot of people play different approaches.
He saw the...
But yeah, Latios, of course.
He saw the Greninja, but the Greninja doesn't work with the active Pokemon. Just the bench, like the GX attack.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what it's called. But in any case, like... I feel like Logan... Yeah, I think he needs to go for Tag Bridge. I don't see anything else.
Well, but then it's like... Bryan needs to play around it, or just like... Well, I mean...
Yeah, he would need 2 catchers, or maybe snipe the bench, which is not bad. He doesn't... I don't think he really minds it. Because Logan, if he chooses to knock out the Mewtwo next turn, he does not heal himself. and that's easy pickings. Even a Marsh Shadow can knock it out.
Yeah.
Red Knuckles.
But a Marshadow can knock it out this turn as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be really kind of a sad end to that Mewtwo and Mew, but let's see.
There it
so
is,
Weak Guard Energy makes a deal. Only the regular at 120 damage, and now this Logan's Mewtwo and Mew tag team cannot get any damage from.
And look at that rich discard
tag
pile.
Team.
So many GXs already in there. And I think many more will be adding into that. Freedom Forest, discards a Jirachi. Don't really need that. There's a Psychic.
Oh, Bryan can also use Tech Purge, and then they're just like in a like who moves first? Like, do you want to do something against it?
Does he have the Greninja? Because he can go through Tech Purge with the Greninja. But I'm not sure if he has A, the water, B, the Greninja. So we'll see about that. Or maybe he's already thinking something that we can't comprehend.
Well, but he used Viridian for a Psychic, so there's definitely no water energy, and it's not in the surprise card. So
he does play one.
Yeah, he does play one water and then the Greninja.
You know, the Greninja before was, I think the list that Henry Brand won with. I think he didn't have Greninja. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
But in any case, like, it wasn't very popular at the beginning, and then people started realizing, well, Keldeo just walls me, especially like Keldeo is with this deck. You have no other attackers.
Yes.
People try to attack the Tartonator. I think I saw some Giratinas. But it's just so much better to deal 130 with the Greninja. Look at it. And also, I don't know if anybody has ever done it.
Okay, and we see the Deoxys Espeon, like you said, it's only 10 damage active.
So and another prize there. And then next turn, he has already a Psychic.
So there are 20 damage left, and Bryan just needs to...
just put it there. There's on the Latios even.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's relevant on Dedenne, but we see 4 prize cards in one turn. It's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
So now again, Bryan, if he just next turn... If he's able to attack with Naganade, then he wins again, just like last game.
Indeed.
So we see a cross division for the normal damage, which is still 10, which is enough. It puts damage, like it does not deal damage, it only puts damage counters. So Latios GX Tech Purge does not work against that, if any of you are wondering. So now it goes to Logan, and he has to apply so much pressure this turn. He needs to deal 130.
I don't think Chumal and Lanas is defined as pressure. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. Like, he needs to deal 150 damage now, right?
Yeah.
To take the knockout, and I don't. Marcago GX.
Yeah, but he does not play it.
Yeah, Logan does not play it. In theory, he could go all in.
And he does not even play the what is it called? The Megalopine is in the prizes.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's really unfortunate. But he hasn't used his GX attack, so in theory he could...
that would be such a feel-bad moment.
Yeah, but like, GX attack just to deal 150.
And what GX attacks is for free energies, and that's just Reshiram Charizard, I guess.
Yeah, that does. Wait, is that enough?
Yeah, that's 200.
Yeah, that should be 200 for... Wait, is it 3 or 4?
Sorry? With 3.
Okay,
free
yeah, fair
fires.
enough. All right,
so you just need just 3 purifiers, which at the moment he does not have. But yeah.
Whatever.
It's not going
he didn't get the welder, so.
Does he see the Witches in the prizes?
Yeah.
Yep, there they are. And he realizes. Well, poor Logan. Maybe would have went differently with the Witches. I'm not too sure. Maybe more Jirachi would have helped him.
Yeah.
But at the same time.
But I mean, his starting hand was kind of like he got the welder, and then he searched his day. Like he discarded the welder on Acrobike, turn 1, 2 Rainbow Energy in your starting hand.
That's what I'm saying.
And he needs to discard a lot with Dedenne, so.
That's what I'm saying about Mewtwo. Is that sometimes it's just pure gas. You cannot stop it. It just goes through. But sometimes it just doesn't get there. It can get walled, especially today by Keldeo and Cautixwell. They can just have the Greninja, which is very slow. Mewtwo is a very interesting deck. Let's get this straight. But I feel like it still has some problems.
Yeah.
And the next set, I don't think there's much for it.
No,
it just can't copy the GX, so no of the V Pokemon are going to copy any of those.
Yeah, I think the next set only makes ADP a lot better because of the ability where you can attach energy.
Exactly. And also, no support first turn. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no welder, so it's kind of a...
Exactly.
I don't think they actually wanted to nerf welder, but... Well,
I think they just wanted the meta to be a bit more based on... I mean, I feel like people will be playing more trainers, will be playing more like bikes. The new bike that comes out, they drop it to 6 and your turn ends. That's kind of a supporter. And just generally play more more based on your own deck and not just bricking, because in this way the player that goes first, in any case, he will not have done anything. More interestingly, the new Velox ball, which, by the way, guys, you can use if you have the Diamond and Pearl ones. You can use those.
You mean the quick ball?
Yeah, quick ball. Yeah, sorry, that's the Italian translation for it. And the quick ball, like you discard one card and you look for a basic Pokemon, so that might help Mewtwo. But I think Mewtwo already has enough way to discard and look for Pokemons.
Yeah.
So maybe they would just take the place of Cherish Balls, because this way you can basically get anything. But no, actually you cannot get the Evolution GXs. So I don't know. We'll see about that.
Okay, so I think we can, in theory, actually have a little chat with Bryan. So I would say we cut to a break, and then we'll be here in a bit. So yeah, don't go away.
See you then.
Hello, we are back here with Bryan. Or is it, how do you pronounce your name?
Bryan. Yeah.
Bryan, okay, fair enough. So how was that game? Like, your first impression after it?
Well, first game I was pretty scared because he started, of course, with a weak card energy, and I was like, I was scared for a turn 2 knockout on my Mewtwo, and I didn't have really any response to that. But he just didn't draw that well that game. He couldn't switch out his Jirachi, so I was fine. And the second game, I saw him discard a Welder with an Acrobike, and I was like, okay, he either doesn't have anything, or he just at least doesn't have any fire energy. So I was like, okay, not putting down Giant Harv, just Welder for 1 is enough. And it just went from there.
And what do you think about the matchup in general? Like, what's the... If you would just talk with someone, like, not talking about this game, but just in general, what's the usual game plan you would go for?
Well, attach weak card energy as fast as possible. Most of the time, just put one Mewtwo down, turn 1. And after that, you just establish a second one with Turbo Strike or anything which is Welder. And just... It's a weird matchup because it's still a Welder deck and you still have to hit all your Welders. And of course, Latios GX makes it a little bit more difficult for my deck because I don't play it. But yeah, just KO Jirachi with Turbo Strike, power up a second Mewtwo, try to get through one Mewtwo, and then it did an for game.
So your game plan against Latios is just Greninja and Deoxys Espeon? Or?
Yeah, and of course Double Blaze, but that's a little bit more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But you can also Great Catcher something up and then kill that. And it's also difficult if they just keep tech purging you. You can just Mellow Lana and they need 4 turns if they want to keep up the tech purge lock to kill me. And then you can just Venom Shot the bench until you actually have 1.
Oh, yeah. So you won the like the first game. You played Reset Stamp, and then you just got the Dana Switch, and then you top deck the Viridian Forest. Well, I mean, happens, I guess,
it happens, and I had a lot of outs, but it was still really insane that I drew those 3 cards.
Yeah, like you could have also gotten a Great Catcher later somewhere, and then it wasn't. They just looked a bit funny here. I'm like, oh yeah, yes, he switch, and then you can just Dana, and then you're like, Viridian, Psychic, and oh wait, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Then the second game also you had the weak card energy, and did you drew it really like you drew the second one also?
I think so. Yeah, he stamped me into Solgaleo, something else, and 4 energy, which one of them was the weak card.
Yeah. What about the weak card? So you only play 2, and you kind of have to use 2, right? Like.
Yeah, I think you have to play 2. I see some lists play 1, but it's not enough because if they just knock out 1 Mewtwo in a mirror match, then they just can win the game of the second one really easy. And against Malamar, you also need 2, I think.
All right. So you play Macargo GX?
Yeah.
So it's like just because you can do 3 energy and then discard them all to go all in? Or?
It's more of a finisher. I don't really use it that often, but when I use it against green stacks in particular, you just go Flare Blitz into Macargo for game most of the time. It's just nice to have because other than your GX attack, you don't really have a big one-shot option. Beside the Mega Jigglypuff, Mega Low Pony Jigglypuff, but if your opponent can play around it, you need something else.
What was like the last change you did to your deck, or is there a certain card that you really want to put in there but it didn't fit and then you cut it?
I haven't changed this list since LAIC,
so fair enough.
I was too lazy to change it. But I was debating playing Aladios or the Breaks Art because both of the cards are really insane, but I couldn't find space.
All right, so you're just... I mean, what works, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the deck you do not want to play against this tournament?
Well, Tina Chomp is... I'm not confident in that matchup. I know I can win it, but it's difficult.
The Roxy variant, or?
Both variants. I don't really prefer the one over the other.
All right. So is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Shoutouts you want to give, or is it just?
No, that's fine.
All right. So we will cut into a short break, and yeah, see you for round 4.